Hello, potential friends and enemies. This is Rise Again. Today we're going to get into Mystik U. Why is this a thing? Because we don't have enough stories where a group of diversity squad kids jump through a magical portal into a gothic-style university and get taught the art of sorcery by a cast of paranormal professors while they get in all kinds of whimsical misadventures. Am I right? Am I right? No, no, no. We need this. We really do. What? Where they get this idea from? Oh, what an idea. A school that teaches magic? The hell you say? This is gonna be wacky wild sauce. Ah. So, well, here we have Zatanna, who's usually known as a babe deluxe to most, and will help sell this book for sure. And behind her we have, the Depressed Breakfast Club. I don't know. And I dated a Satana impersonator once. I thought it was the bee's knees. Turns out she was a feminist. Now, back then, I didn't really care about that. I didn't really want someone's belief in something to be a huge deal breaker. I've dated women who believe that aliens are real, and Bigfoots and Lena Dunham, and women who think that Amy Schumer is funny, even. Okay? I can handle stuff. I can deal. Really. But the problem is with feminism is that it's designed to make followers believe in it dogmatically and with a lot of anger towards any kind of questioning. So, they're angry at men, kinda, in general, even if they're not showing it, because they look at men as oppressors. That's the core of feminism, is patriarchy theory invented in the 70s by a bunch of people who hated men, essentially. And it took over what was good, what was a good, very needed movement for women's equality, and corrupted it. It's designed to ruin male-female relations and make it unnatural and unhealthy. It's not a real equality movement anymore. Women finished the much-needed job of creating equality, and they packed up and left. The real feminists are done. Um, Now it's just a hate movement hiding out as an equality one, and it sucks. I mean, it calls air conditioning sexist. It's off the rails. It's done. It's over, people. So, she said something about men and women having the same exact brains, and I told her, science has shown that we have differences, and I think it's kind of good to understand those differences and celebrate them. And I don't even want to say celebrate them, but I think I said something like understand and appreciate them. And she told me that I'm sexist and wrong, and that there's something about wanting to keep women in their place, whatever the fuck that means. I told her to lower her voice, and she screeched at me. Something about me being an asshole, so I told her to get her little magician's outfit and get the fuck out. And she started screaming and pointing and saying that I'm privileged. I have white privilege and male privilege and straight privilege and a penis privilege, and I should feel bad about it. And I told her the only privilege I have was kicking your ass out. And poof! Just like that, Satana was gone. Only to text me a little bit later. Something about a study that claims men and women have the exact same brains based on, well, nothing much really. Turns out that study was made by some sort of creeper people in Chicago, and when they were interviewed about it, they were like, it just proves what we already knew, so yeah. Tell me if you think there's bias in that. A lot of studies are misused these days to help promote this kind of radical far-left agenda, so don't take them too seriously. They're very low when it comes to what real scientists take seriously anyway. They're kind of laughed at behind closed doors in the science world. So it's very hard to replicate them. So anyway, newest brain scans just came out actually and show that men and women are wired very differently in our brains. So look it up if you don't believe me, and put that in your top hat and smoke it. Zatanna. If you're listening, by the way, Z, I actually have a cleaning bill for the sheets. You know, I'm all about equality like you are, I'm sure, so I'm thinking maybe you should pay half. You know what I'm talking about, Z. You splashy minx. Anyway, feminism and splashy minx breakups, and we haven't even opened the book yet. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's flip from dead tree skin here. So, you open the book and first you get. I just want to point out this Nightwing ad because I've seen more subtle gestures from cam girls' big reveal shots. Okay, Jesus fucking Christ, this one is for this shot. This angle is for the ladies. There's so much taint. That's a ton of taint. Too much taint. It's too much. Jesus, Nightwing. So this book is by Alyssa Whitney, who writes comedic romance novels, but she's written some Sandman in the past, so she knows her dark shit. Let's give her a chance, see what she comes up with. The prologue is Zatanna and it's the terrible all is lost moment. There's blood everywhere, there's ruins, panic. She thinks she's looking at John Constantine, but it's not. It's Richard, but it's not. It's Rose now. Whoa! And they use their they decide that they're, it's come down to the end and they have to use their contingency plan and warp Zatanna to, well, from the looks of it, there's the Zatanna and this warp is happening, and we got Raja, Indian guy, Anoop, and we got Feruza Balk from The Craft, and Johnny B. Too Cool, and Tonika. Or no, I'm going to call her Tokina. Tokina, your minority friend with the big ho hoops. That's great. That's great. The gang's all here. And this gang is not a TV formula. We promise. So, flash to 7 years before Zatanna is about to go on stage with her dad, and she overhears him telling Rose that she has no special magic talents, and that, as he puts it, she's utterly mundane. Oh. So they take the stage, and as he presents the show, Zatanna is fucking letting him have it with both bitchy barrels, man. She's like, he's like, welcome to a night that we hope will truly be magical. And she's like, and not hopelessly mundane, right, Dad? And he's like, some of the incantations I use are hundreds of years old, and those are the modern ones. And then she goes, so clearly no point in sending me to college, right, Dad? Which that's not really even a comeback or like it doesn't really go with what he just said. I don't get it. And he's just like, no more ad-libbing, stick to what we rehearsed. And she says, you never bought me that Corvette for my 16th, Dad. No, I'm just kidding. She just tells him to go to hell in backwards magic speak. And then she gets this weird feeling in her tum-tum, and boom, she erupts with demons. I hate it when that shit happens, especially on stage. She's got a case of the hailspawns again. So anyway, Daddy, after being told to go to hell, immediately jumps in to save her and disappears like a Zatanna impersonator from My House in the Night. And he disappears into her hat with demons. Whoops, Daddy went to hell because I was in a mood. How metaphoric for what it's like to have to deal with your daughter sometimes. Am I right? I don't know. So she goes to Rose and blah, blah, cry, cry. Instead of going after her dad and on some great mission to find him, Rose is like, it's the perfect opportunity. You need to learn how to use your power. Your power's blooming. And boom, Rose is once again opening a portal for us. And this book's only just begun. There's 2 portals in. No, 3 portals in. There was the portal in the beginning with the Mopey Breakfast Club in Zatanna. And then there was Daddy going into hell in a top hat, and now we have a portal to Breaksville's College from the Magicians, that crazy show. Isn't that right? That shit magic show, right? Just kidding. It's Mystik U, where you take a flying Pegasus to class, and we promise this isn't filmed at Hogwarts. It's magical here, guys, where frogs smoke pipes, but humans still need wheelchairs to get around. So I'd float on a fucking carpet if I needed a wheelchair in Magic Land, or tell everyone to kiss my grits. That's what I'd do. I don't know why that guy's in a wheelchair, man. I would morph that thing into like a steel fucking stallion and take that shit to class. Everyone can suck my dick. Anyway, so Rose changes Zatanna's sex pod outfit into something college girly and walks off without her permission, too. Just, and she reveals, yeah, the welcome ceremony is about to begin, and since I'm the college president, they kind of expect me to say a few words. So she's not talking like an adult anymore. It's over. They go through this portal, and everyone just immediately starts talking like a mall bunny. So, oh really, thanks for letting us know, Rose. Everything's happening really fast in this book. It doesn't really breathe or anything. It doesn't really, it just kind of drives ahead like a TV show pilot instead of a comic book. It's very awkward. It's got this cheese-encrusted voiceover as we introduce new characters. It makes zero sense that her dad would get swallowed up by demons, and she gets sent from a stage where she watched him disappear into like freshman year of like magic studies. It's dumb. It just doesn't make sense. So we go to the hall that we've all seen before, that we've never seen before, actually, from Harry Potter. Yeah, we've seen it before. And there's some new characters that they introduced. This nervous Indian fella is David. And let's see. They don't introduce Tokina Ho Hoops. I don't get her name yet. So they get warped nerdy Haji from Johnny Quest to warp them to their floor in the dorms. And they meet the new roomies. And I'm kind of gagging now because this book is reading like Harry Potter mixed with Babysitters Club mixed with like watching The Magicians. And I fucking hate Harry Potter, okay? And the Babysitters Club, I got through about 8 minutes of. I hate Babysitters Club, but I got through about 8 minutes of Magicians before realizing that what it was exactly. It's a show for single ladies who are never going to get a ring put on it or whatever. So, anyway, it's painful now reading this book. It's changing. It's not a DC book anymore. It's something else. And we get to chapter 2, Magical Hygiene. Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, so the ladies talk and say things like, "Oh my god, I almost killed my cat once." And one knocks balm down the drain and she comes up all slimy and she's like, "Oh, don't worry. This is how my power manifests. I'm just put off slime or whatever." And some of her slime drips and hits a monster below. Ooh, the plot sickens. So we meet Firuza Balk, and it's revealed that she's actually the Enchantress. So yeah, it's not just edgy listens to too much Cure eye makeup thing going on. By now, yes, we are not DC anymore. It's like Charmed goes to college on the WB. And Shades McGee here is Faust, apparently. And they meet their troll, R.A., who's named Gerd, as in Irma Gerd. And who gives a shit? I can't tell if Gerd is a dude or a lady troll. But I kind of don't care to even know. But with those bitch tits, it's weird. Either way, I can tell you that Iceland does not want Gerd back. So they go on some scavenger hunt. How about hunting for your father in hell instead of Hogwarts? Going to Hogwarts all day, you bitch. So Zatanna goes off on Faust right after like talking to him for like a split second. It's very manufactured conflict. She's all like, she's yelling at him like my Zatanna did me. Because all he has to say is, "I know who you are." And she's like, "Excuse me? Do you mean you've seen my show? Because that's not who I am." And he's just like, he's like, "Oh yeah. He thought you flipping a top hat and doing magic with your daddy on stage was just who you were. Down to the depths of your soul. That's all you are." That's what he thought. What the fuck? And she says, "But you can't be bothered to find out about me, so I can't be bothered to find out about you either." And he's just like, "Yeah, whatever, bitch." And she leaves and calls him a jerk. It was dumb. It was a very contrived conflict. Place your bets on them making out later in the story, everybody. Put them down. Let's see what we get. She hasn't taken How to Make Your Hands Glow in the Dark fucking class yet or whatever. And so she uses the light from her cell phone because we can't never do anything without our fucking phones coming out these days. Our phones are just as magical as magic. Like, whatever. So she even says that as she pulls out her phone. She's like, "Fine, whatever." Like, OMG. What the hell is this? So then we see a blob monster, and it's like, ooga booga. Faust is there to help. And so what does she do? She pushes him, and she knocks his glasses off, and this purple energy leaves his eyes and starts sucking her dry. And he's all like, "I won't! Not again!" And he puts his shades on, and the monster has scurried off, and she reveals that she accidentally sent her dad to hell. She just says that, and Faust is like, "Oh, that's ironic. That's where my father tried to send me. Ooh. But I said no to summer camp." Just kidding. He doesn't say anything about summer camp. But yeah, like, that's not irony. It's not irony when your dad wants you to go to hell, but someone else accidentally sends their dad to hell. That's just unfortunate coincidence. It would be ironic if your dad had tried to send you to hell, but he got sent to hell instead. That's how irony works. When you have a generation of people obsessed with using the term ironic in everything they fucking say and write, but you still don't know how to use it properly, I don't know. It's like, look at me. I'm a writerer. Bonus points. I get writer bonus points when I work the word irony in everything I write. You know what's ironic? People using the word irony all the time to sound smart, and no one's using it correctly. That's fucking irony. You win, irony. You win. I can't. These people, they just, It's something about SJW writing. They love to use the word irony. They still define it as the way it was used in a what's that Alanis Morissette fucking tune, okay? Where she doesn't use the word irony properly the entire fucking song. She just talks about unfortunate circumstances the whole time and calls them ironic. And so now thank you, Alanis. You've created a generation of dipshits who don't know how to use it proper. Well done. Somewhere, somehow, I believe the personification of irony is laughing. Anyway, so we end up with a hipster bro here, a broster guy who works on his pecs in a coffee shop, and he's telling a story, and he says, the bullets fall out of my hand, and he looks down at his gun, and I just kind of smile at him, a real nasty Joker style smile, and I say, buddy, you do not want to mess with me before my dark roast, okay, brah? And Tokina's just like, wow, you're not used to talking to women, are you, Joe? You haven't asked me a question in the past half hour. Okay, listen here, fucking Tokina. I'm gonna tell you something. We don't have to always want to fuck you and ask you questions and make sure that you feel like the center of the universe all the time. Sometimes we could care less about fucking you and would rather just trade stories with you. See, Broster sucks a bearded cock, don't get me wrong, but you're not the fucking sun which my planet orbits, you assuming skank. Get that through those giant fucking ho-hoops of yours, bitch. Women are so used to being the center of attention and tender care these days that they freak out and start getting snarky when something breaks the pattern. It's not healthy. You might not be all that interesting, you slimy, dripping, balmy bitch. Get over yourself. Maybe ask him a question or trade a story to match his. You know, be like, oh yeah, that reminds me of the time I slimed my way through 12 different dicks at prom or something. I don't know. Wow. And like, yeah, like, wow this guy. Like, blow him away. Show him that you can tell good stories too. Wow the fucking fedora right off his Starbucks approved fucking hairdo. I don't care. It'll be great. You fucking demographic Lego block. You fucking white writer's comfort food. Eat shit. I am available for children's parties. Just saying, everybody, if you need to hire someone to talk at a children's party, I'll do it. I'll give you a speech. Anyway, so she says, did you know this was traditionally an all-female society and the school only opened it up to men in the 90s? It's that whole, I just covered this in another book. Like, it's that whole, like, ooh, the beautiful mysticism of all female. It's because SJWs read that feminist propaganda where they talk about, like, a world with all women would be a better world. There'd be less crime and less war and boo and fuck history and fuck all the female leaders throughout history that have, like, fucking, marched in all kinds of wars and made all kinds of war happen and violence and fucking death happen. But they weren't as efficient at it as men were, so maybe to be. Anyway, look, if this school was really only opened up to men in the 90s, why was there a centerpiece statue of the founders at the start of this book? And one was female, and one was male. Why? This book can't even get its own fucking lore straight. You're a silly, slapped-together little university with scavenger hunts and hipsters and slime monsters and guys with magic rubies on their fucking turbans. You're silly. You're a silly book. You're not whimsical. You're teenage vomit. And teens deserve better stories than this. I'm sorry. This is condescending to teens. Teens are smart, and they deserve fucking awesome stories that take their imagination and runs with it. Not stories where they feel like they're just hanging out with their dumb fucking friends, dicking around on their phones. Okay, they do that enough. Anyway, and there's a lot more pages. This book's almost like 50 pages long, but it's all dumb. They fight a slime monster, and then it's their friend, and they keep going on about the malevolence coming, and it's supposed to be all intriguing, but it's not. And I'm exhausted, people. I thought this was going to be like a 2-part review that I would do, but it's just not, it's not worth it. If you like Harry Potter Goes Babysitters Club and what looks like DC Comics, then this book's for you. Buy it, enjoy it, have fun. Whatever. It's not very witty or funny. It tries to be. Falls pretty flat for me. So that's the end of this book. It's a long ass Babysitters Club adventure, people. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. I hit the like button, subscribe, please subscribe, and tell me what you want me to roast. I'll roast some shit. We'll have some fun. I'm sure you guys have great recommendations that I can only dream of finding. I want to do them. And ring the bell, and you will know when new horrible, angry rants about how shitty these books have become these days will come out from me. I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. I appreciate it more than you know. And as always, people, don't forget, death to Ming.